Hello everyone, welcome to this session. This is as to the public international law under that particular subject. Today the topic which I have chosen is nature of international law. As to the nature of international law, there are so many controversies. That means what is the base for international law, whether it is true law or not, whether it is really a law or not, whether really is it a weak law or strong law. Can we consider international law as really a law on par with the municipal laws? These certain questions they be cropping. If we analyze certain theories and opinions developed by some jurists, we can come to one conclusion whether international law has to be considered as law or not. First of all, before going to the opinions delivered by two different jurists, Stark and Austin, first let me give the principle of law, the basic nature of law. Our general understanding is that if we have to say law, law means it is embodiment of some rules and regulations or principles which are to be followed. It is nothing but principles of conduct which are meant for the society to be followed, to be observed in order to avoid any type of chaos in the situation. That means to gain peaceful atmosphere, to get the peaceful relations among the citizens in the society, we need to have law. But if we apply the same thing as to the international law, there are diverged opinions which are delivered by different jurists whether to consider international law as a law or not. Among them, the famous jurists who delivered their opinion are Stark and Austin. According to Stark, he says that international law is a law, but he expresses his dissent with Austin. Let us see actually what is the opinion delivered by the Austin as to the principle of international law. According to Austin, international law is purely a positive morality. Let us positive morality, what it is actually signifying the meaning. Morality, we know the morals. Generally, divine morals will be there. Some certain things we be getting from our elders, moral principles to be observed for regulating our behavior in our day-to-day life. In such cases, that means what is good, what is bad, and we are trying to follow the good, and cutting short the area of the bad. That means where the person who is in a position to make the rational judgment as to good and bad, we may say that he is able to follow some morals, some ethics, some completely depending upon the ethics. Here, the Austin he says that international law is purely a positive morality. That means out of our ethics, out of the etiquette of a particular state, they are following certain principles out of their inner conscious and applying some morality. They are just following the principles and it is international law. That means he says that international law is not a law, it is only morality. That means it is just we are leaving to the option of the individual whether to follow, whether to be abide by it or not. And it is not having, it is not just followed by any sanctions there, any punishments there. We know that morals may be followed, may not be followed. Simply a person who is not following the moral, he cannot be punished under law. Law is not just focusing on the person who is not following the morals. Then what the law actually the state it is saying is whether the person he is obeying the law or not, but not as to the whether he is obeying the morals or not. Even the person who is just ignoring the morals and ignoring the morality, even then he is not punishable by the state under law. So he also says that international law, excuse me, the students say here international law has to be here. Please make it a note. Now, according to this Austin, he says that international law is only a positive morality. It is just left to the states whether to observe or not while they are regulating the whether they are governing while they are governing the relations with one another. They may be following certain principles, they may not be following the principles. Completely it is left to their morality. It is completely left to their inner conscience whether to be abide by it or not. How to maintain the relations with the other country is completely, it is a territorial issue, and it has to be decided by the sovereign only completely. So there is no one who can force the particular state to be bound by certain rules and regulations. He says that therefore international law does not fit in the groove of law. It is only misnomer. That means usage of the word international law itself is wrong according to Austin, because it does not fit, the international law does not fit in the definition of the law at all. Law means, according to Austin, he says that in order to have a law, there must be some supreme commander. That supreme commander, he is giving the commands to its subjects. Here, that means he has interpreted the meaning by taking into consideration completely the municipal law. If we come to municipal law or domestic law, there will be some territory. The territory will be having some boundaries. The territory will be having some people. There will be some competent authority. That competent authority is the supreme commander. He is the sovereign to that particular country. He is declaring, he is giving some commands to its people to follow it. That means all the commands, they are just proceeding from the king or supreme commander, and the subjects or its individuals, the state's individuals or the subjects, they are following it. In case something is going wrong, the supreme commander, he is going to take some action against them. That means, according to Austin, he says that just like how we observe in the domestic law, the supreme commander, territorial boundaries, people, subjects, like that, since all these elements we don't find under international law, because once you are coming to the international law, every state is independent. Every state is declared as sovereign. When every state is declared as sovereign, there is no one above the state. That means there is no any particular supreme commander who is controlling the activities of all the states at international level. Therefore, when there is no such supreme commander who is controlling all the states, therefore the particular state is independent in its own area. It is not a law at all according to Austin. He says that there is no supreme commander, sovereign authority must be there. This particular opinion is completely disagreed by Starkey. He is also one of the famous jurists who has delivered his opinion as to the nature of international law, saying that international law is very much a true law. According to him, there are some sources of international law, legislative mechanism is there. According to Starkey, he says that those mechanism, the legislative mechanism is nothing but in the form of the treaty formations, treaties, conventions, customs, and where the United Nations Charter and League of Nations who have helped, but who contributed so much for the codification of international law in the beginning stages. Of course, today we are having at length each and every country, though it is small or big, they are able to maintain some sort of relations with other countries, and they are able to sustain in the global market very much. Today we are observing that so many countries globally we are interacting, and globalization has come, liberalization has come. We know how much development and how much progress the economy it is witnessing. That means every country, because in this globalization period, in the global era, we are observing that every country mutually they are extending their coordinations, cooperations, and they are drawing huge benefits in the form of treaties, in the form of agreements, etc. And all the states, there is no force as such, they are out of free consent. They are entering into so many relations with the other countries, and exactly there is no any coercive element. The relation, how they are maintaining the base for the relations which they are entering into, that itself is a treaty, that itself is international law. Therefore, international law is very much a true law according to Starkey. There is enforcing mechanism. We have seen that International Court of Justice is also there. They are also imposing Security Council is there. One of the wings, and implementing authorities, they are able to see that if something is going wrong at international level, especially if we observe closely, peep into certain areas, how they are imposing sanctions upon other countries once they are deviating from the international norms or international treaties. Patents Act is there. How the countries globally they are entering into the patent treaties, and if at all we are deviating from the treaties, how, what type of sanctions, what type of punishments the parties they are giving to the other defaulting parties, we are observing today very much. Therefore, according to Stark K, international law is very much a true law. It is having all the qualities of the law. We can say that international law is a law. If we just see one case law, that is Packwood Havana case in the year 1900, which was a landmark judgment of the United States Supreme Court. In this particular case, Supreme Court of US has clearly given that there is application and recognition of international law even in their domestic law. That means they are saying that international law is part and parcel of their domestic law. It is integrated into their domestic law. There is so much integration of international provisions in the domestic area of the United States, which that particular statement is made very clear in the 1900 itself by the Supreme Court of United States. The court held in this case that capture of fishing vessels as prizes of war violated the customary principles of international, which is integrated with the US law and therefore binding as such. That means whatever the norm internationally it is prevailing, the same norm they are trying to adopt it in the domestic law also, and showing so much recognition to the principles of international law even while they are conducting some relations within their country. That means they are saying that it is part and parcel of their domestic law. It is integrated almost with their domestic law. Justice Gray opined that international is very much regarded as part of their own law and international will be taken into consideration while deciding any case before them. These are the opinions delivered by the US as to the important and recognition of international principles and international law by treating international law as very much a true law and standard and very much a. Now the conclusion which I am giving here is, today we can say that international law is very much a law on par with the domestic law, because there is so much vast development and improvement in international relations, especially today in GPL, that is globalization, privatization and liberalization policies. Almost all the countries, big or small, they are entering into frequent relations with the other countries, and they are trying to see for the expansion of their independent economy, individual economies, and they're also just inserting some treaties, clauses, agreements in their relations, and they are feeling as if they are legally bound by them, and they're also inserting some enforcing mechanism, enforcing channels, and remedies are also provided. Today we have seen that intellectual property area where patents and trademarks, designs, we are seeing that they are having so much international strength. It is there because almost all the countries they are having these particular intellectual property mechanisms, and they are frequently floating from one country to the other country. They are exchanging the ideas and they are able to see so much development in this area. Therefore, by having regard to all these things, we can say that international law is very much a law on par with the municipal law. It is not simply a positive morality. With this, I am binding up this session. In the next session, I am coming up with a new topic.